Story. Ochako's paw. I burst through my door, kick my shoes off and jump face first onto my bed, tired as can be. Setting up for the festival was already going to be hard enough. But making it into a whole concert was absolutely draining. Setting up the concert floor, planning, dancing, and the outfit designs. It was taxing. But, even with all the hard work, I couldn't be happier. Iida was back to his usual friendly self. The class hasn't had this much fun in a long time, and to top it off, Izuku and I have been dating for a few weeks now and it's been absolutely amazing. I giggle to myself, flipping over to my backside on the bed and taking my phone out. Izu, I'm lonely. Where are you? Sad face. I laugh at the text I sent out to him. Every time I send something like that, he'll run up as fast as humanly possible, apologize, and then try to make me laugh. Usually, though, I'm laughing before he even gets here. I can't help but tease him like this. He's adorable. Plus, I love seeing his face anytime I can get it. We usually spend a lot of time together. We study, usually in each other's rooms, so on so forth. Recently, we haven't been able to be together too much because of the festival preparations. Hence, me sending Izu my distress text. However, the green lightning bolt didn't arrive like he usually would. I furrow my eyes and pucker my lips. Where's my boyfriend disappeared off to? Usually, I'm not like this. At least I think I'm not. But I really wanna see him. Class was long and boring and he's always so focused. I focus too, but it would be cute to see him glance at me every now and then. He's so focused at being a hero. I laugh to myself. Of course he's focused on being a hero, and it's what makes him adorable. I love him for that. I sit up and walk out my dorm, skipping along to his door, knocking on it. Izu, you in there? I ask, humming a little bit while I wait for a response. Nothing. Where could he be? I ask myself out loud. Looking for Midoriya. A voice asked. I turn around and see Mineta, wearing one of the orange festival shirts we were given for setup. I actually think he's back at the stage. Said he wanted to keep practicing for the concert. Mineta said. I blink at him. That was actually a normal response coming from him. Oh, well, I guess I'll meet Izuku there. Thanks, Mineta, I said, starting to walk off. Lucky bastard gets one of the best pair in the school, doesn't even deserve it. I hear him mumble to himself. Hey Mineta, I call out, looking back. Mineta turns around to face me again. What's up, Uraraka? Your dorm is down this hall, right? Yay. Why? He asks, curiously. Let me help you down, get down there. I smile sweetly. I then grab the little short stack, use my zero gravity and chuck him down the hall towards the wall, releasing my quirk last second, causing him to slam into the wall at the end of the hallway, cornering his door. Insult my boyfriend again and it'll be worse. I yell down the hall. I blow air through my nostrils and walk off in a huff. The nerve of that squirt. Everyone in class had known that Izuku and I were officially dating at this point. Izu and I decided to let everyone know, especially since everyone had put it together when we asked for help getting our outfits together for the date. It was actually very well received and we got congratulated by pretty much everyone except Bakugo and Mineta. Mineta from jealousy and Bakugo from, well, being Bakugo. Promoted stories. You'll also like. Dreamscape Reader X Midoriya X Bakugo Todoroki, 349K 9.8 KYN, has been trapped for most of her life, used as a tool for others' gain. Her quirk was fabricated to be used as the perfect weapon, a weapon to help in stealing other. Captured by Love. BNHA Villain Redemption a 134K 2.8K Izuku. Midoriya has never felt more confused. Being a villain has taught him to never get attached to anyone, because they'll either end up betraying you, or you'll be. I hate and love you. 258K 4.6 Con. IzuOcha fanfiction where Deku and Uraraka had a fight in kindergarten which led to something worse. But maybe they can be friends or perhaps more. Non-Quirk O-rated. Revenge of the Wronged Hero who happens to be 0.77.1K 931. No one could have thought that someone as pure and innocent as Izuku Midoriya would be betrayed by his friends who he thought that he could trust with everything he has. Dream on B. K.6.8K 232 downwards arrow tip rightwards in which a jealous bachelor signs a deal with the devil in order to win over the heart of his first love. Katsuki Bakugo has loved the PR. Golden, Hispanic, Latina. Femme. Reader. Exizuku. 12K 324 completed. Heiress to the richest company in the world. The government of Japan has good relationships with your grandfather. It was the duty of the government to save the quirkless lion unseen power. S1N. 0.5945 Ure. Kurayami has always lived in the shadows, pretending to be quirkless in a world that reveres power. Her secret isn't weakness, it's Mindwef, a terrifying ability. I still had a bit of resentment towards Bakugo from what Izu had told me happened. He had gone into a bit more detail after our initial conversation, but he has told me about most of their moments during this year. I know Bakugo cares now as much as he won't admit it. He did stand up for Izu when Iida went on his rage trip. Still, it might be a while before I forgive him. I'm walking through the hallways of the school now towards one of the gymnasiums where the festival concert would be held. I see Mina, Tora, and Koda walking past me, heading to see the love of your life. Mina yelled, seeing me and running towards me, of course. I said with a laughing smile. How long are you gonna tease me about it, Mina? It's been weeks already. Oh, you know, just until the end of time. When's the wedding? I wanna be there. She yells, jumping and wrapping her arms around me. I do slightly blush at that, but this isn't the first time she's brought this up. We've talked about this, Mina. I grip her shoulder and give her an evil smile. Keep talking about stuff far in the future like that and you're gonna be on the moon soon. Mina gulped and laughed nervously. Of course, I'm just messing around with you, Mina said, taking a few steps back, keeping a nice distance between her and my fingers. You're looking for Midoriya, right? He's on stage. I'm certain he'd be happy to see you, Koda said, holding a box. Yay, tell him we said he's doing a good job, Tora said, her shirt floating up and down. He has improved his dancing from what it used to be. He used to resemble Iida with his dance moves. Mina laughed. I laugh as well. Mina wasn't exactly wrong. Well, let me go stop him from staying up all night practicing. See ya guys in the dorms later, I said, jogging off to meet with Izu. They wave and start heading back to the dorms. I turn into the door and open, revealing the large dark empty room, with a lit stage at the end of it, with my green-haired boy in his orange UA crew shirt and shorts, standing in the center, on his phone. Because of the complete emptiness, his mumbling can be heard from where I stood. So it's left, step, 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 jump, ground pound, raise fist up. Wait, is that actually left? No, this is midway through the video, so it's gotta start with the right. Let's back up a bit and restart the video. I chuck to myself. He is the most adorable thing on earth. I stroll quietly towards the stage until in center where he was looking up at him, still on his phone watching recordings of the dance moves. You know, Izuku, usually practice includes actually doing the actions yourself. I say after a few seconds of staring up at him. Izuku jumps and does a complete 360-degree turn around. Ocha, where are you? He said in surprise, unable to find me. Down here, dummy. I chuckle. Izuku looks down and meets my eyes. He smiles. Hey, no fair. I told you sneaking up on me is cheating. He squats down, to be a bit closer to my face, but the stage is still pretty high up. Can't help it, even if I wasn't trying, you still would have been surprised with how focused you are. I say, getting on my tippy toes and laying my arms on the stage. You didn't answer my text, mister. Izu's head tilts to the side a bit before checking his phone. Oh, I'm sorry, Ocha. I should have came. I hope you weren't too lonely and you're laughing at me. He says, hearing my laughter. I can't help it. You do this every time, and you know I'm messing with you. Yay, yay, yay. He says. He holds a hand down to me, which I take, allowing him to pull me up onto the stage. We both sit down on the edge of the stage, our legs hanging off. You really want this to be good for Eri, don't you? I ask Izu, placing a hand on his back. He had gone back to watching the dance on his phone. She still hasn't smiled yet, Ocha. Mirio has been with her and he's done all he can to make her smile, but nothing. Izuku said, watching the dance. I'm sorry, Izuku. I'm sure you'll make her smile, I said gently. I expected Izuku to be sad, but he actually gave me a bright smile. Absolutely. This will give her the greatest smile ever, he said, raising his fist and bringing it down. I blink a few times at Izuku's excitement and then match his smiling energy. He's been so happy these last few weeks, it's wonderful seeing his smile. Ever since that night, he's been so bright. I still want to ask him about his quirk, but that can wait. His happiness is much more important. It will, I say back, giggling at him. Let me practice with you. I want to get good at the dance too. Sure thing. Izu said, standing up, taking my hand and helping me up. This was pure bliss. Deku's paw. Maybe play Hero 2 in the background of this part of the chapter. The lights were shining, the music was playing, Jiro's singing was amazing, and I was overlooking the crowd cheering us on. I had just tossed Aoyama in the air, who was now spinning and shooting lasers to give a lighting effect. Everything slowed down. My smile was as big ear to ear. I was having so much fun, but there was only two things left I needed. Izuku. I hear one of the first things heading my way call out. Ocha was being flung around by Asui, giving people zero gravity, before being flung in my direction. I see her flying towards me. I catch her midair and she makes us zero gravity as well. We twist in air a bit, her in my arms. I look around us. Aoyama had landed and now confetti and ice structures were forming around us, a sea of students floating away in the distance. Lights flashed behind the two of us as the music played. Ooh, Jiro sang loudly and beautifully. Izuku. Ochako called out over the sound. still in my arms, as in the air. I looked down at her smiling. Isn't this amazing? She called out laughing. I laugh and look into the crowd, searching for the last thing I needed for this perfect day. And there it was. Eri, being held up by Mirio, was smiling huge and wide, hands up cheering and waving. My smile grew 10 times bigger. She did it, I yelled, laughing and smiling. What? Ocha called out to me. She smiled. Eri smiled. I yell as I huge Ocha, causing us to spin a bit more in the air. Izuku, she called out. I pull away just slightly, to stare into those beautiful brown eyes of hers. What? I yell. I love you. She yells with a smile, and places a kiss on my lips. That was my first kiss. I feel the burn rush to my cheeks, but I close my eyes and embrace her tighter, returning the kiss. I really love her. We pull back and she releases us from the zero gravity. I laid before her, catching her before she falls, and we return back to dancing, smiles growing even larger on our faces. What a start to the festival. Ocha and I locate Eri behind the stage after the concert, hanging out with Mirio. Eri sees me and smiles again. That was amazing. You were dancing, and the girls said, wow. And so I said, wow, too, and it was like rainbows, and then the ice came. Eri continued on explaining the whole thing, making gestures and movements. I smile at her, and then to Ochako. And you guys did that weird thing while floating. What was that? Eri asked excitedly. I look at Eri confused. I look at Ocha, who is blushing, and then at Mirio. Mirio makes the kissy lips at me. I immediately blush. You guys saw that? I asked, going even redder. I'm pretty sure everyone saw, but it was a great view. It was the perfect time for a kiss. I'm happy for you too. Mirio says, giving me a wink and a thumbs up. Are you gonna walk around the festival with us, Deku? Eri asks, smile gone, with a pleading look. I chuckle at her, crouching down at her level. Of course, if Mirio doesn't mind. I look up at him, and he gives me a grin. Of course not, Midoriya. Of course I'd want you to be with us. He says, making a pose. That's that, I say as Eri's smile returns. I want her to come too. Eri says, pointing at Ochako. I look at Ocha, who is now turning red. Me, she asks. Yay, you were there in the mission. And you and he are close. So I want you with us too. She says. Her face goes solemn again. Do you not want to? Ocha's eyes get wide, smiling right after. Of course I do, Ocha says, crouching down to take Eri by the hands. Eri's smile once again returns and she cheers a bit. The four of us enjoy the festival, Mirio and I switching off between carrying Eri on our shoulders, visiting different stands. We watched as Bakugo won the obstacle course. Eri, Ocha and I cooked with Sato. We ate different kinds of food, so on so forth. It was one heck of a day. Soon the familiar light of the sunset appeared over the school and the crowd was slowly thinning out. Ochako and I walk Eri to the front of the school gates, each one of us holding both of Aris' hands, Eri between us humming the Hero 2 song, with Mirio behind us. Aizawa meets us at the gate, with a black car ready to take Eri and Mirio away. Eri lets go of our hands and turns to face us. Did you have fun today, Eri? I ask, crouching back down at her level. She nods quietly. I could tell she didn't want to leave just yet. Don't worry, Eri, you'll be back here sooner than you think. Aizawa says from near the car. Though I swore he looked at me when he said that instead of her. Well, time for us to go, Eri. Mirio said, taking her hand. Eri follows, looking back and waving at us with a small smile. Ocha and I wave back and watch the car pull off with the three of them. Phew, Ocha says, stretching. She then jumps onto my back. Carry me back to the dorms. I chuckly holding her up. Yay yay. I say as I start walking towards the dorms. Ochako rests her chin on my shoulder and starts playing with my hair on the other side. Did you enjoy yourself, Izu? She asks quietly. Yeah, I did, mostly because you were here with me. I respond, smiling to myself, admiring the orange light surrounding us. I don't want anything to change. I want to stay like this together forever. Quote dot. She said. I couldn't agree more. Ochako leans her head a bit into my neck and gives a sigh. I smile. I don't want anything to change either. You know, I fought a villain today. I say with a laugh. What? Izu, stop lying. Wait, is that why you were late? She asked, sitting up. Yay, it was. He was a weird one though, more of a prankster than anything. Called himself Gentle Fist. I start telling Ocha about the weird villain I had come across before the concert, her listening and responding excitedly. I love her. Oh, by the way, I say as we reach the dorm's entry doors. What is it, Izu? Ocha asks. My mom texted me earlier. She wants to meet you. Kenlair here. I love this chapter. After all the real feeling ones, this is such a breath of fresh air to get just a sweet lovey chapter. I had such big smiles writing this one. I hope you guys enjoyed and I will see you in the next chapter. Kenny Boy, where stories live. Discover now.